The warm summer air on July 5, 2025, felt perfect. It carried the delicious smell of barbecue from my father-in-law's grill. Laughter floated all around the backyard. Little cousins chased each other on the soft green grass, their happy shrieks filling the space between conversations. My husband Mark was telling a funny story to his uncles, and I could see them all laughing. I felt so happy and content. These family gatherings were my favorite. They were a time to connect, to share stories, and to feel like I belonged to this big, wonderful family. I truly believed this was a safe and loving place for me. I had spent the morning baking my special lemon cake. It was a recipe my own grandmother had taught me. I loved bringing it to these events. Seeing everyone enjoy a slice made me feel like I was adding a piece of my own family's history to my husband's family. My mother-in-law, Carol, had even complimented it earlier. She said it was the best one I had made yet. I smiled, feeling proud. I was holding a plate with a fresh slice, ready to offer it to my dad. He was sitting quietly in a lawn chair, just watching everyone with a gentle smile on his face. Everything felt just right. The sun began to set, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink. The string lights my father-in-law had hung between the trees started to glow. It created a magical, cozy atmosphere. I took a deep breath, soaking it all in. This was what family was all about. It was about these simple, beautiful moments of togetherness. I felt so grateful for Mark, for his family, and for the life we were building together. I never suspected that this perfect evening was about to change in a way I could have never imagined. The feeling of peace was so complete, so absolute. My heart was full of warmth as I looked at all the smiling faces. I saw my sister-in-law showing pictures of her new baby. I saw my brother-in-law teaching his son how to throw a football. Everyone was so engaged and happy. It was a picture of family harmony. I felt a deep sense of security, as if nothing could ever go wrong in this circle of love. I had known these people for years, and they had always treated me with kindness. I had no reason to believe that tonight would be any different from all the other happy memories we had made together in this very yard. I was walking towards my dad when Carol, my mother-in-law, stepped in front of me. She blocked my path. Her smile from earlier was gone. Her face was tight and her eyes were cold. I stopped, a little confused. I thought maybe she needed help with something in the kitchen. "Is everything okay, Carol?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light and friendly. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she just looked at me. The silence felt strange and heavy. The happy sounds of the party seemed to fade into the background as I waited for her to speak. Her words came out quiet, but they were sharp like a knife. "I think it's time for you to go home now," she said. She did not yell. She did not make a big scene, but she said it loud enough for the people closest to us to hear. My husband's aunts and a few of his cousins turned to look. The conversation nearby stopped. I was completely shocked. I stared at her, trying to understand what she had just said. Did I hear her correctly? Why would she say that? My mind raced, trying to find a reason for her sudden change. I couldn't think of anything I had done wrong. We had been laughing together only an hour ago. I searched her face for some kind of explanation, but I found none. There was only a cold, hard look. "Go home?" I repeated the words softly. My voice was barely a whisper. I felt my face getting hot. I was sure it was turning bright red. The plate with the lemon cake felt heavy in my hand. I didn't know what to do or say. It felt like a bad dream. I wanted to wake up and find myself back in the happy moment from just minutes before. "Yes," she said, her voice firm. "I've been thinking about what you said earlier about your career plans. It was very disrespectful to Mark's goals. This family supports each other and you clearly do not. So you should leave." Her reason made no sense. I had briefly mentioned a promotion I was working toward. Mark had been so proud. Now his mother was twisting my ambition into an act of betrayal. The accusation was so unfair and so public. It was designed to hurt me, and it did. The small circle of silence around us began to widen as more people noticed something was wrong. My whole body froze. It felt like all the air had been sucked out of the yard. The happy sounds of the party were gone. All I could hear was a loud ringing in my ears. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. I saw pity on some faces. I saw confusion on others, but most of all, I saw the shock. No one knew what to do, they just stared. I felt so small, so exposed. It was like I was standing on a stage under a harsh spotlight, and I had forgotten all my lines. The embarrassment was a physical weight pressing down on my shoulders and chest. My husband, Mark, rushed over. He looked confused and upset. "Mom, what are you talking about? What's going on?" he asked her. But Carol just shook her head, not looking at him. She kept her cold eyes locked on me. I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me whole. I wanted to disappear. I had never felt so humiliated in my entire life. To be dismissed so cruelly in front of the entire family was a pain I had never known. I felt like a stranger, an outsider who had been publicly rejected from the group I tried so hard to be a part of. I looked down at the cake in my hand. The slice I had been so proud of now seemed foolish. My gesture of love and family connection had been thrown back in my face. My eyes started to fill with tears, and I blinked hard to stop them from falling. I would not give her the satisfaction of seeing me cry. Not here, not in front of everyone. But the lump in my throat was so big I could barely breathe. I just stood there, unable to move, trapped in a nightmare of shame and hurt. Every second felt like an hour. The silence was the worst part. It was a heavy, suffocating blanket over the entire party. No one spoke up. No one defended me, not even Mark, who seemed too stunned to form a complete sentence. In that moment of silence, I felt completely and utterly alone. All the warmth I had felt for this family turned into a cold, empty feeling. They were her family, not mine. The message was clear. I was disposable. I was not one of them. The pain of that realization was sharper than any angry words could ever be. Then, a calm, steady voice cut through the horrible silence. "We will all leave then." It was my father. He had stood up from his lawn chair. He spoke clearly and slowly, and every single person in that yard heard him. He was not angry. He was not shouting. His voice was full of a quiet strength that commanded attention. He looked directly at my mother-in-law, Carol. His expression was not mean, but it was incredibly serious. The entire party, which had been frozen in awkward silence, now turned to look at him. My dad walked over to me and gently took the plate of cake from my trembling hand. He placed it on a nearby table. Then he put his arm around my shoulders. "This is my daughter," he said, his voice ringing with conviction. "She is a kind and loving person. She is a wonderful wife to your son, and she is a member of this family. If she is not welcome here, then none of her family is welcome here." He then looked at my mom, who stood up immediately and came to my other side, taking my hand. It was a simple, powerful display of unity. A wave of shock went through the crowd. My father-in-law's jaw dropped. He looked at his wife, Carol, as if seeing her for the first time. The color drained from Carol's face. She seemed to shrink under the weight of my father's simple, truthful words. He hadn't insulted her. He hadn't caused a scene. He had simply stated a fact. "You don't get to hurt one of us without answering to all of us." He drew a line in the sand, not with anger, but with love and dignity. He showed everyone what true family loyalty looks like. As I stood there between my parents, a profound sense of relief washed over me. The shame and humiliation started to fade away, replaced by a surge of love and gratitude for my dad. He had not let me stand alone. He had seen my pain and he had stepped into it with me. He gave me my dignity back in front of everyone who had watched it be taken away. In that moment, the power in the yard shifted completely. It was no longer about Carol's anger, it was about my father's love. The party was indeed stopped, but for a reason no one expected.